Hey guys, and welcome to Today's Scott. We're bringing daily content on entrepreneurship and personal growth. How did I bring that daily content? Simple. As an entrepreneur, you'll know we learn so much each day, and that's all I do. I started a company last year in November, and I bring you that daily content from my learnings as an entrepreneur into content that you'll gain value from. So you'll learn from my failures and you'll learn from my experiences. And why that's going to be of value to you is that's ×2 learning, because you can learn from your failures and your experiences, but also mine as well, so you don't have to make my failures. And even if we're in different industries, do have different products, services, whatever we do, it doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, starting up a business, we're going to face the same issues. It doesn't matter where you are, we're going to face the same issues. That's issues with managing money, with managing ourselves, our time, our mental health, our physical health, all aspects of business. So that's where it's this communal platform to speak for the people in the trenches, in the grind, the people who are the up-and-coming budding entrepreneurs. I'm here to speak for us and bring us together to be collaborative, to bring our knowledge and experiences together so we can learn from one another and help each other get to the top and to our desired success. So I hope you stay tuned for the video. It's a really interesting one. It's actually a bit of an update from a video I did ages ago about knowing your value. I did it, I believe the 6th of October as I checked it for this video. So crazy that I'm going to do an update on that now, which is really cool. So this is how to know your value, and your role at all times. So stay tuned and we'll get right into it. Hey guys, and welcome back. I'm just gonna snap that into focus. As you can see, the audio's better, the visuals are better, everything's better because I'm doing it in the office. You'll know when I'm doing it in the office because I'll have this colourful background. So if I've got this colourful background, I'm in the office because I'm doing it in the meeting room. So awesome, I'm very happy with that because the audio's better and so forth. So let's get on with it. So this is how to know your value and your role at all times. And that might sound really simple, but it's so crucial because, as you'll know, as again, going through starting up a business and running a business, it's unbelievably hard to just stay on track at all times because so many things come through. Because you're not just, so I run a digital marketing agency, so you'd think my role is digital marketing, which yes, that's what I provide to my clients, but at the end of the day I have to manage so much more than that. I have to manage managers of other clients, I have to do recruitment for some other clients, I have to manage my own business through the financials, I have to manage my day-to-day myself. There's so much more than the digital marketing role. Even though digital marketing is what's bringing in money, it actually ends up becoming a much smaller percentage. It's not 100%. So it's very hard to always know your role at all times because you'll have days where you might not necessarily do your primary role, which is a bit funny to think, but it's how it happens in startup because at the end of the day you've got to manage so many other things. So that's why it's key to come back to this and really understand what your role is in your company, to always know and to get yourself back on track to make sure you're focusing on the right things. And that's why this video is going to be so key for you today. I'm going to focus that. It's going to keep it ice because I'm erratic with my hands. So how I've come about this today is I was writing a proposal. I'm over halfway. I'd say I'm 3/4 through the proposal for a client because I've taken on much more work for the client. So I'm writing up a proposal, and usually I'm a bit like, oh, I don't want to do a proposal because you've got to do all the financials, got to do all the roles, and it can be quite time consuming. It's quite stressful to have to do it all. But actually, I'm so happy I've done it because after doing it, it gives you so much clarity in that. It's just so good. Like, you know what I call them, the clarity bombs? It just gives you that clarity bomb. And there's nothing better than a clarity bomb because it allows you to have much more clarity and understanding of your role and the time it's going to take to complete the tasks, what your goals are, how you're going to get there, the time it's going to take, how much money you think you should be paid for that, and all this. So it's really key to understand this. So actually, I'm really happy I've done this. So like I said, this is actually going to be an update, knowing my value, from a blog I did in the 6th of October. That was daily blog 10, we're now 91. So it's crazy. We're updating that now because that's so interesting. So I'll put that at the end of the video. You can have a look. I'm sure I'll be very different in it. So what I have learned from doing this proposal and creating it today is quite a few things. Firstly, my role and position for this client has changed dramatically. I've gone from doing one thing to suddenly doing about 6 or 7 things. And that's obviously why I'm doing the proposal. We're coming back to each other with the proposal because of the increased work. And it just gives me clarity on what my position, not just what my roles are, my tasks, but my position within that, with that client. And that's really key to understand and come back to on a regular basis. So you always know. So one, you're always aligned with each other and you're always focusing on the same goals and making sure you're obviously staying aligned with the tasks and what you're trying to achieve. And two, you know that you're putting your time in the right areas. So this has given me great clarity because I've managed to break down into categories what I do and then broken that down into the goals I want to achieve in those categories and then the tasks in order to achieve them. So it's a lot of thinking, a lot of tasks, and it's a strong plan. It's about a 12-year plan. Sorry, not a 12-year. I've got about a 12-month plan on it right now, so there's lots to do. But it's great because it gives me clarity. And the big thing is it allows me to understand the time it takes, and that's so big. Understanding the time it takes is crucial because that is what is going to be hugely influential on your value, on your pricing. Because obviously the average person works 8 hours a week, and if you're going over that, if this, you'll know from doing this proposal that you might actually be going over that. And you obviously then have to figure out, right, do we work on weekends and do we charge more, or do we just do less, charge more? There's so many different ways. So the time aspect that it gives you clarity on is huge. So another funny thing is that it just made me realize I had a shitload to do. I have loads to do, which is always a fun thing, but it's kind of daunting, but it's always exciting because I know all these things are going to make it a better client. So what this has done as well, it's not just, so that's the main thing what it's done. It's given me clarity of my role, my time it's going to take, what my role is, what my position is, and my tasks and goals, which is great because that means you can align with the client, and that is ultra important in order to give the client the work and value they expect. Another few things that is sort of more personal for me, and I know you'll get this as well, is it puts you at ease. Because you're on top of it, you have much better understanding. Again, you're on the same page. There's nothing better than being on the same page as the client. The second you're not on the same page as the client, the second your goals aren't aligned, your focus ain't aligned, the work is going to be bad. Because yes, you can maintain the quality, but it doesn't matter because it isn't what the client wants. And at the end of the day, it's what the client wants. Yes, you consult, you help, but at the end of the day, you have to be aligned. And they can take consultation, they can ignore it, they can do what they want because they pay at the end of the day. So staying on top of it and making sure that you're coming back to this continuously is great because it keeps you aligned and therefore puts me at ease and the client at ease. And that's a big thing because it allows freedom. It's also allowed me to manage my financials smartly because now I know how much I'm going to be earning from this client or likely to be earning based on my proposal, therefore allowing me to understand how I can manage my money better and where I can put money differently throughout the month in my personal expenditure as well as business expenditure. And most importantly, it's allowed me to understand my value. And this is the update, is that my value's increased. Yes. This is awesome. My value's increased, and so it should. I mean, this is really annoying me. That's okay. I apologize. It's not focusing. And so it should. It should increase the value because, like I said in that video in Daily Blog, I'm sure I would have said it in Daily Blog 10. Was you should always look to increase your value year on year, because if you're not, what does that tell the client? It tells the client that you are not improving. And you can try to argue this, but at the end of the day, you're not improving. Things change, especially online with digital marketing. Social media changes all the time. You have to continuously learn and keep up to date with that. And you have to stay on top of that in order to be in front of the game. And if you're not continuously trying to give a better, more improved value year on year due to your knowledge and experience, then I wouldn't want you to be doing work for me, because I would expect that increase, because I would expect your value to increase. But obviously, as your value increases, it means you're going to increase me money. So it works both ways. It's not like you increase your value, but you're not making them any more money, because that doesn't make any sense, because that means your value hasn't increased. So it plays out nicely. It plays out fairly, because the client will be making more money because your value's increased, therefore you're making them more money, therefore you deserve more money. Simple. So obviously that's going well for me, so my value's increased, which I'm happy. More money, never a bad thing. And that's really what this proposal has allowed me to do. And a key thing now, what I need to do and what you should do when you write up your proposals is an action plan. And that's two things that you need to really, I think, are really key when it comes to proposal. Is one, you should revise it regularly, maybe quarterly. You should revise it regularly. Again, I'm coming back, I'm going to repeat myself, but it aligns yourself. It's so important for you and the client to be aligned, to have monthly meetings, weekly meetings, daily calls, whatever you have, however you do it. It's so important that you're aligned at all times. It's so key. So revising this regularly will allow you to stay aligned and add whatever's changed and take out whatever's changed, so then you always know how to manage it. Another part of it that I've made in my proposal, I've learned, is I've made it scalable. So what I mean by that is I've made the financial side of it scalable. So I've categorized it into sections. I don't want to go into too much detail, but basically I've categorized it into sections. So if this category increases amount, then it can increase based on this amount. So let's say I do one task in this category and it's £20. Then I do two tasks and obviously it's £40. And if I do three tasks, it's £60. You see what I mean? That's what I mean. So that's what I've made it scalable in each category. So as it increases in those categories, it can scale up based on the original pricing. And again, obviously through the years, the original pricing will increase, therefore increasing everything else. But the key thing here is that I've made it scalable, therefore makes it, one, easy for the client to understand, me to understand, and two, again, we're aligned and we understand how this grows. You have to make, just like business and anything, you have to make things scalable for them to grow, because naturally, if you're doing a good job for your client, guess what? They're going to want you to do more. And especially with digital marketing, it's very, very easy to get roped into more and more and more work, which is great. That's great. But the mistake I made at the start was that I didn't make my proposal scalable. And that was a big part of not knowing my value, as you'll see in my video that I'll link at the end, is because I didn't know my value, therefore I was unable to make it scalable. It was just messy. Therefore, whenever things were changing and work was coming on, I was just saying yes to it, and I wasn't really adding my value. I wasn't adding increasing price, therefore I wasn't really making any extra, and it was just all messy. It wasn't structured. So the structure and scalability is huge for you to go ahead with this client. So I hope that made sense and was some good content knowledge for you. I know I enjoyed doing that. It has really given me clarity, and it's always nice, as I say, always nice to speak over these videos, because it allows me to re-clarify what I'm already doing in the day. It allows me to learn again and just have those little light bulb moments. My takeaway for you is simple. Write down a proposal for every client you have. And if you don't have lots of clients, or just have one client, then write a proposal for that client. If you don't have any clients yet, then just write a proposal of what you think, what you would like to do. Let's say you want to manage social media accounts for a brand, and you want to manage 4 social media accounts. Great. Categorize it, so 4 social media accounts, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, whatever it is, and then put down the task of what you'd have, your daily task of what you'd have to achieve. So like creating the content, posting 2-3 times a day, or whatever it is, and then estimate the time and lay it down. And one, you're going to be shocked to how much it is, how much time it's going to take, and two, it gives you a much better understanding of how you can then scale your idea with other clients. So you want to manage social media platforms, the best thing to understand is how long it takes to manage one platform, and then just replicate that. So you could do, at the end of the day, most platforms are going to be very similar. Twitter, yes, you post a lot more than Facebook, so it might be a little bit different, but at the end of the day, it's going to be very similar. So once you've nailed the core time it takes each day to manage each platform, you just scale it. It's simple as that. So you suddenly do 10 Twitter accounts, 10 Facebook, you just scale it. And that will allow you to understand how you can scale, how you price yourself, how long it takes, and will have true clarity of both your role, your position, and your value at all times. And that is so key for you and your business to grow. So I hope you gain value from this. I hope you do implement this, and if you've got any questions, please do comment them down below. I'd love to engage you and answer any other questions and any other issues you're having. But until then, please do drop any feedback, comments, questions down below. Until then, I'll see you tomorrow. We're going to have an interview on Saturday. I'm not sure which one. I've done 2, which is awesome. One's global, which is yes. One's global, but I think the global one's going to be next week, not this Saturday. But I'll have an interview for this Saturday. Not sure who it'll be, but it'll probably not be the global one, but we'll have one. So stay tuned for that. Thank you very much for this video. Thank you for staying by. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel at Scott Mears, my Facebook at Scott Mears Entrepreneur, my Twitter at Scott Mears _, and my Instagram at Scott Mears Entrepreneur. As always, guys, it was an absolute pleasure. The best way to predict the future is create it. Go out there, create your future. This was Day to Day, Scott. It was an absolute pleasure. See you tomorrow, guys. Have a lovely night. Bye-bye.